สวัสดีค่ะ One of our own has made his name worldwide for several decades as an award-winning novelist and a composer of operas before settling down in his homeland. Somthao Sucharitgun has devoted his life in music as a composer before taking a short break for writing and coming back to his love in music again. Set his foot as the first Thai opera composer who created the much anticipated the recent ballet opera that was shown at the Thailand Cultural Center called Bharidat, The Dragon Lord, was the latest artistic work of Kun Somthao. Thailand today has a chance to meet him and to listen to what it is like to be a Thai opera composer and how he falls in love with opera. Kun Somthao or Ajahn Somthao will share his story with us by himself, and here he is. Please welcome for Ajahn Somthao Sucharitgun, President of the Bangkok Opera Foundation. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Welcome to Thailand today.
Yes, thank you very much. It's
So-
wonderful to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much. So why did you come up with the story of Bharidat?
Why did maybe I should put this the other way. Maybe the story came up with me because of course the 10 lives of the Buddha is an iconic central focusing point of Buddhist culture all through the region.
Okay.
It's painted on the walls of temples. There's sculptures, murals. This is something that has been told and retold for thousands of years. Now, the odd thing is that Thai people in particular are very familiar with number 10 of the 10 lives of the Buddha, Prawet Sandon.
Okay.
They know this very, very well. You know, and I think if I ask any kid on the street, who is Prawet Sandon?
They know it.
They will know, because this is a sort of held up as the great symbol of complete self-sacrifice, giving up everything for the sake of the world, right? But before the 10th life, there were 9 others that are very, very interesting. And how I came to do Bharidat, which was just performed last week, is a very interesting journey because about 5 years ago, in 2010, I was approached by an opera company in Houston.
Is it so?
They had received some funding from the Indian Association of Texas.
Okay.
This is not this kind of. This is the Indians from India, right?
Oh yeah, but in Texas.
Yeah, in Texas. Well, you think that Texas, it would be the other kind. But no. They wanted. They had come up with some funding, and they wanted to create an opera set in India with something to do with India. Now, the director of this opera company knew that I had written an opera called Ayodhya.
Yes.
Ayodhya is the entire story of the Ramayana told in a single evening. And I received a telephone call from him from Texas. And he said, is it possible for Ayodhya to be reduced in size to be performed by a small orchestra of 20 players? And I started laughing. I said, oh, you have to realize that like hundreds of people are in this work. And it would be simpler to compose a new opera. And unfortunately, those are my famous last words, because Mr. Subramanian, this conductor, said, okay, done. So I was committed then to writing another opera set in India.
Okay.
Now, the challenge was what subject to do, and I wanted to do something that came from our culture. So I chose the story of Temi, the Silent Prince.
The Silent Prince, yes.
Which is number 1 of the 10 Jataka tales.
Okay.
Right? And it was a very challenging story because the main character does not speak. And how do you write an opera in which the hero does not speak? Let alone sing. And I solved this in a very interesting way because at the very end of the story, Pratemi does in fact speak a few words. And so you spend the whole opera waiting to see when he's going to open his mouth and what's going to come out. Right? And anyway, the opera did surprisingly well in Houston
Okay.
It was completely sold out. And the reviews were staggering. And it turned out that this was, in fact, the first actual Buddhist opera in history. And
Interesting.
as a result of that, the opera was played in Thailand on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Again, there was a complete sellout here in Thailand. But that was just one of the 10 Tossa charts, you see. And 2 years ago, I had another bizarre coincidence. You see, every year there is a large choir festival in Thailand, which is organized by people from the Czech Republic.
Oh, yes.
And people come from all over the world to sing. And each year we collaborate with them and put on a big concert, which takes advantage of the fact that hundreds of people have come. Now, we had a plan to do the Benjamin Britten War Requiem, which is a very major piece. But just at that moment, we had, well, a sudden change of government. People were rather frightened of coming. And I got a call from the Ministry of Culture saying, we still want to have this concert. What can you do that will still persuade the tourists to come and yet use only local resources in case they don't come? Right. So at that point, I took the Mahachanok Symphony, which I had written as a gift for His Majesty over 20 years ago, and adapted it as an opera. And that became the work that was performed 2 years ago. So without realizing it, I had done the first 2 operas, the first 2 stories of the 10 Lives of the Buddha, without actually ever having this plan. So it was when I started doing this opera, Prapuritat, which is another of the Lives of the Buddha. When I started doing this opera, it suddenly occurred to me that if I'm going to do 3 of them, I should just do all of them. And this seems like a tiny little step, but it's a really big leap because in the entire history of classical music, the biggest work ever written was the Ring Cycle by Richard Wagner. It's performed every year in festivals all around the world. The Bayreuth Festival in Germany, where it started, you have to book 10 years in advance to get tickets.
Oh, goodness.
To this.
Yes.
It's a major focus of European culture. And if I were to do a cycle of 10 operas, that would, by definition, be the biggest work of classical music in history. And therefore, it was not something to be taken like, oh, okay, I'll just do all 10. It wasn't like that. It was like, I came to this spot with a great deal of trepidation. And as I worked on Prapuritat, I became aware that I had to do this for many reasons. You know, music, opera, classical music in Thailand has reached a very interesting point. Although people in this country don't seem to realize it, Thailand is one of the world's leaders in opera. It says so in opera magazines all over the world. Thailand is the new hub of opera.
Really?
Yeah. And this is because for the last 14 years we've worked very hard to have a completely innovative, new kind of approach, which does not simply imitate the West. And it seemed to me that to announce this project, which will take at least 5 years to complete, to announce this project.
You mean the 10?
The 10, yeah.
That it takes 5 years for that.
Yeah, which is very fast, but it's actually been building up for 20 years before that. So, you know, because my process is that I think and think and think for 10 years, and then I write it very quickly. So people think, how can you possibly do 10 operas in only 5 years? But I tell them that it's really 25 years. So anyway, the point is that announcing this project is something that automatically draws attention from cultural communities all around the world, focuses it on Thailand. So we have something that enormously benefits the tourism industry, enormously benefits the perception of this country, which has suffered a great deal lately.
Exactly.
And also, because a work like this can be reinterpreted endlessly, forever, you can always have new versions, new costumes, new singers, new conductors, because of this, it actually provides employment for singers, artists, designers, conductors, actors, dancers. It provides this employment for generations. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
Now, I've reached a part of my life. You see, it's like every composer's life is divided into three. If you read that biography, it's divided into three parts.
Okay.
The early part, the middle part, and the end.
The end.
The end. Now, I think that I'm
It's
close.
gonna end nicely.
The end now. For the end, I want to do something that I can leave as a gift to the people of this country and to the Chakri dynasty,
Oh, nice.
to the future generations of musicians. And I want it to be a gift that will continue to be used long after I'm gone. So this is really, I'm sort of dedicating the next 5 years of my life to putting this together.
So
Yeah.
it's all done. How it was successful?
Well, it's a very
With a lot
interesting thing. You know, I chose, this is actually number 6 of the 10 lives of the Buddha.
Okay.
But when I started to write Bharidat, I didn't know that I was going to do all 10 yet.
Yeah.
You see. That realization came as I was composing. So the thing is, the reason that this one comes and then I announce all 10 is because the story is so appealing to young people. You see, it's about, in this story, the Buddha is reborn on earth as a dragon prince,
Okay.
a Nag. And he's captured by an evil sorcerer who plays his pipe and makes him dance like a snake charmer.
Okay.
And he goes from village to village, becoming rich. At the end of the story, the Buddha's brothers come in search of him, and in the end, there's a huge magic duel. So basically, the end of it is like the end of Harry Potter, and the plot with all these magical transformations, and it's for modern audiences. It's like seeing Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and Harry Potter, all these iconic things, except they're coming straight from our culture. So I chose this because of the color, because of how it would appeal to, especially to young people. You see, I think that it seems to have worked quite well. We had 4 performances of Bharidat in the last weekend, and they were
The full,
very
fully
full.
booked,
Yeah, they were very full, very full. I think that it bodes well for the future. Now, my plan is that I will release these individual operas over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
But in the year 2020, we will have a festival. We will play the entire cycle from beginning to end over a 5-day period. And this is a festival that I hope will attract huge amounts of opera lovers from all over the world. It will have big opera stars as some of the leading roles, as well as the best of Thai singers and actors. And once this is established in Thailand, I think that not only will Thailand be on the map, but no one will ever be able to wipe it off the map.
Of course. You do everything, even the casting. You do it yourself. You cast them. How do you cast them?
Well, actually, the interesting thing about running one's own opera company is that it's a very old school thing, because in modern opera companies are often run by big boards, and things are done by committee. But in the old days, the composer actually did everything. And this goes back to the old way of doing things. So basically, the different works are written around my available resources. For example, I have a wonderful soprano that I know will do this. Then I write the role specially to fit the soprano's voice.
Gosh, yeah.
So from that point of view, it's a very different approach. When the chorus began rehearsing, I realized that I needed to, and I had only written half the opera. I realized that in order to get it done in the time, I would have to make the second half easier to sing. So, and this is very old-fashioned. It's not the modern way of doing it at all.
Yeah.
The modern way is to write the whole thing, and then years go by, and finally, but it's a very practical approach.
So what is your most impressive moment in this kind of productions and the show?
Well, really, I think that it depends on what you mean by impressive. I mean, you know,
The
we have
overwhelming, and this is...
we have many members of the cast told me that at the end of Bharidat, they were crying on stage.
Oh, really?
And this is when the prince is released from his captivity and appears as the bodhisattva, and his brothers are about to kill the evil magician who captured him, and he tells them that they must not pollute their karma by taking his life.
Oh. So this is one part. And did you have another project called the future one that you called about another project?
No, this is that.
This
project.
is one. Yes.
This is all the 10 lives of the Buddha. It's a big 5-year project.
Yes. So what are you going to do after this?
I'm going to do number 3.
Number 3, yes.
Actually, I just did number 6. Right? Number 3.
What you jumped?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, but once it's all done, it'll.
And then we line up and then.
But right now, I'm doing them. I'm sort of picking and choosing according to circumstances. So number 3 is coming out in December, and it's Prasuwanasam, a very interesting story, in which the Buddha comes to earth as a very faithful son who does everything for his parents. I think it's a very good lesson for young people today about devotion, and love, and his devotion is so powerful that even when he is killed, the tears of his parents bring him back to life.
Oh.
It's a very beautiful story.
The story is depicting the Buddhism, the real Buddhism, but what we see.
Each of the stories is one of the official 10 lives of the Buddha.
Oh.
See, and so basically each story teaches people what they should have learned in school, but they didn't.
So we need actually to our society.
They didn't learn this in school because if I ask a kid on the street, who is Prabhupada? They'll go, no. Oh, they did learn it in school. You know, the 10 lives, they learned it in school. But so each life is now presented in a very dramatic way. People can immediately grasp the story and immediately understand the moral lessons. So I think of this not just an entertainment, not just opera, but really a big act of devotion, a big act of merit making. You see.
Very interesting. What do you think of the future of our opera in Thailand?
Well, I think the present is pretty wild. I'm not that worried about the future right now, although, you see, 6 years ago, our work began to be noticed. 6 or 7 years ago, when Opera News in New York and Opera Magazine in London both said Thailand is the new center of opera in this region. Yes.
Wow. And
I have to say that this is something that has been acknowledged by many international communities. For example, each year I go to a big opera summit in China.
Yes.
It's where the leaders of opera companies all around the world meet every year. And I had a meeting with the director of the new national center there, which is, they have put so much money into opera in China. The government has poured money in.
Yes.
And he basically said, could you please tell me why we have put so much money into opera and you don't have any money at all? Why do they respect you and not us? And he just asked me that directly.
What a question.
And why? And the answer is actually a very simple one. It's because we are not. What we are not doing is a sort of post-colonial copy of a Western opera company. We are creating our own interpretation of, and I believe that, you know, when you go to see these things in the West, you see that the audience is getting older and older every year, but our audience is getting younger.
So what is the project of the opera, what do you call it, in the Bangkok Opera? You saw Das Jari.
That is Tosachat.
Tosachat is a 10. Can you tell more about this, please? Because this is your 5-year project.
Yes.
So it will be keep on coming out.
Yes. Well, the next one is coming out in December. The Suwanasam number 3.
Suwanasam.
Next year, I'm going to do the Nimi Chadok, which is a very interesting story in which the incarnation of the Buddha visits heaven and hell. So it's very, very spectacular. And I think people will be, we are able to do very amazing things because, of course, the Thai people are masters of color and spectacle. And this is what they are good at. This is what we can do very well. And that's, I think, I'm saving the last life for the year 2019, Prawet and Dawn, because that's the one that everybody knows. Then in 2020, we'll have the big festival with the, and then I hope every 3 years to have this festival. So eventually, people will have to book in advance for 10 years, just like the other.
Yeah, just like in foreign country that they normally committed to do so. So you're happy with what you have been doing?
But this really is only one of the things I'm doing, but it's at the moment it's the big focus. Yeah.
So you wanted to present to the people of the depth of the Buddhism.
Yeah,
right?
I feel that
through this.
I feel that this is the way for Buddhism to reach many
eyes
many
and ears of people.
And the reason that the operas are in English is that they are intended as international works. They are not intended. They are intended. This is Thailand looking out to the outside world. Thailand calling people in. This is not something just for our own people, but it's for everybody.
Do you find it's just like that? But when you go to England, we normally go for Madame Trousseau. Everybody seems to go there. How about everybody come to Thailand? They must book, and the tour must arrange this opera.
That is exactly the idea.
Yeah?
That is exactly it started. We have some tours that are booking up. Yeah. It's already started, but it should. We want to make it very, very big. At the moment, Thailand is a wonderful country for cultural tourism.
Yes, don't we have almost everything?
Therefore, we need these big magnets to draw them in, and we need to have things that nobody else has. And this one, I think that lots of the Buddhist communities all around the world are going to get on board, as well as the music-loving communities. You see, it's like hitting many buttons at the same time.
I really do hope that is a must-go, must-see.
Well, you
from
must
now on.
I will make sure you get tickets.
I will make sure. Thank you very much. So we have a minute left for you to convince or to tell to the people that why they should not miss to get to know this.
Well, what I want to talk to the people about is this. You see, it's quite important. If I only have a minute, I'll try to squeeze it in.
Please.
But in the past, the funding for these great projects has come from two sources: the government and from large corporations. Now, for a project this big, I think that a chair that has only two legs will wobble and will never stand. I need a third leg. And what I've been doing is I've been asking people, appealing to them, to join the project. And I have a 5-year subscription to the project. You sign up. You only have to pay 1,000 baht a year, and you can become a part of this project.
Wow.
See, I think that the height of a pyramid depends on the breadth of its base. I want everybody to feel that they're doing this together. And it's not just me doing it, not just the government doing it, not just a big corporation doing it. I want everybody to become part of this. So yeah, come to dasjati.com, our website, and you can click a button and become part of the project.
Once again.
Thank you.
Once again for you.
dasjati.com, DASJATI.com. There's a button, ping, then you're in.
Okay. So I really do hope that you are successful and continue with your great job.
Thank you so much,
Thank you. So Thailand today would like to thank Ajahn Somthao Sachirikun, President of the Bangkok Opera Foundation, for being here. And so thank you so much. So once again, thank you so much.
See you again soon.
See you. So thank you much for watching Thailand today, and we'll see you next time then. Sawadee ka.